Hi, welcome to the other 167. For a short meditation today, I have taken a topic, bitterness to sweetness. Bitterness to sweetness. We always look forward to times of joy, celebration, and it's a beautiful time. But many a time we also encounter struggle. So how do we respond? So a beautiful portion from the Bible, the Old Testament of the Bible, chapter 15 of Exodus. God delivered the people of Israel from the bondage of Pharaoh in Egypt. Now, under the leadership of Moses, they crossed the Red Sea. And we see in chapter 15 how Miriam sings this. Sing to the Lord, for he is highly exalted. Both horse and driver he has hurled into sea. So Miriam is singing this. So there was beautiful time of celebration, joy and excitement. And just after that we see verse 22. Then Moses led Israel from the Red Sea and they went into the desert of Shur. For 3 days they traveled in the desert without finding water. When they came to Marah, they could not drink its water because it was bitter. The first point is from the joy of celebration to the pain of struggle. From the joy of celebration to the pain of struggle. God led the people from the bondage. Now they have come to a point where there is no water to drink. They found the water, but it was bitter. So we find this in the life situations. There will not be always moments of joy, but there will be problems, there could be struggle in our life. The second point is that our response to situations of struggle. Our response to situation of struggle. How did people respond to the situation when they found the water was bitter? Verse 24 of chapter 15 of Exodus. So the people grumbled against Moses, saying, "What are we to drink?" Did they not experience the mighty miracle of God? Did they not know that He is sovereign? Why did they grumble? How do we respond when we when we come to a point of struggle? Do we really grumble? In fact, grumbling is displeasing to God. We can always pray, we can pour out our heart, we can just complain to Him. But grumbling is just questioning the ability of God that who have brought us to this situation. This is a plan and purpose God has. So grumbling is displeasing to God. We know when in the Gospel of John, as we see, when in the wedding at Cana, Jesus and disciples along with Mary was in the home. This was just before the public ministry of Jesus. The wine ran out. There was a point of need, point of crisis. Mary, how did she handle this? How did she respond? No one knew. She knew the wine has run out. To save the honor of the host and the home, she went and quietly told Jesus, who was at home, that wine is run out. So Jesus told the servants to fill 6 jars of water. And with water, and Jesus turned that water into wine. And no one knew. They only knew that wine was better than the previous one. As the master of the banquet asked, usually we serve the best wine in the beginning. So how did Mary respond to the situation of crisis or struggle? She handled it with maturity. She knew Jesus would solve it. She knew the ability of the Lord Jesus because she knew He was divine, though He was a man. So point number 3. Believe God is in the midst of all the struggle. Believe God is in the midst of all the struggle. So in the book of Exodus again we come when they cried out. Moses cried out to the Lord, and Lord showed him a piece of wood. He threw it into the water and the water became fit to drink. So water became fit to drink. And then verse 27, then they came to Elim, a place called Elim, where there were 12 springs and 70 palm trees. And they camped there near the water. God led them from this Marah to Elim, where they found 12 springs and 70 palm trees. God has a plan and purpose. So believe God is in control of every situation of our life. We should never grumble. We should never lose hope. So I close here. 1. From the joy of celebration to the pain of struggle, we often encounter life situations where we pass from a point of celebration to a point of struggle. And second point, our response to the situation of struggle. How do we respond? How do we respond? Do we respond like the Israelites who grumbled, or we know that God is in control? The third point, believe God is in the midst of every situation. God is in the midst of every situation. Nothing is unknown to Him. We know the story of Daniel when he was put in the lion's den, how God shut the mouth of the lion and he was safe. He was delivered by God. And King Darius was anxious to save Daniel. He asked, have your God been able to save you? So we believe God in the midst of every situation. So may God help us to know and believe God is in the midst of every situation. When we pass from the joy of celebration to the point of struggle, how do we respond? It's very important that we should always respond believing that God is in control. May God help us to respond positively, trusting in God that He is in control. He's able to save, He's able to rescue. May God help us to have the right kind of response for the glory of God. May God help us with this word.